Good morning, good afternoon to everyone wherever you are. I hope everyone is doing fantastic today. Today, we're going to be diving into the facts and not hopium, not chart speculation, not emotions, not outrageous price speculations that so many give that provide a dopamine shot that make you feel warm and good about crypto, but don't discuss the reality and where we're going in a macro view. We're going to discuss the boring regulation of stablecoins, regulation of the markets in crypto, but tell you why that is important, and it will spark the growth through real volume that will influence the price of XRP and many other cryptos that we hold. My name is Zip, and I'll be guiding you through this analysis, exploring both opportunities and challenges ahead. I'm a utility maxi, and I invest in many great real world crypto projects, many of those ISO 222, that in my opinion will make many of us very wealthy in the future if you have a long-term and patient investment strategy. So do me a favor, just like, subscribe, and let's get this information out to as many people as we possibly can reach, as this market is going to grow exponentially in the next several years. All right, let's dig in. So first, let's set the stage. Let's listen to what President Trump stated at the Digital Asset Summit a few days ago.
I've also called on Congress to pass landmark legislation creating simple, common sense rules for stablecoins and market structure. With the right legal framework, institutions large and small will be liberated to invest, innovate, and take part in one of the most exciting technological revolutions in modern history. It's so big, it's, I think, as big as you can get. Pioneers.
It's as big as it gets, the president speculates. We know the administration is fully behind the crypto environment, making the U.S. a crypto capital of the world. But all of that, in order for it to take effect, is all around regulation. And that's what we need next. And that's what I've been saying through several videos. Without speculation, without hopium, that without a doubt, we follow the big money and what's going on to bring the institutions into the environment. Now let's listen to Kevin O'Leary and what he has to say about the upcoming stablecoin regulation, the markets, and why it's important.
Crypto markets. Anybody that's tried to forecast the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto security has been wrong. And so I don't take that position at all.
Again, and that's the same thing with this channel. I don't buy into a lot of the speculation. I don't read the charts. I'm a long-term, non-emotional investor, and that's what the point I'm trying to make across all of my videos. This is a long-term gain for generational wealth, ladies and gentlemen. It's not instantaneous riches that we're trying to get after here. We want to provide long-term aspects and a macro view of the market. And that's what big money, and that's how big wealth is created, not through, $2 movements, large, long-term, macro, non-emotional view. Let's continue to listen here.
Oh, you try and time it, you never make it work. The currency that we've used for over 200 years successfully has been the American dollar. All we're doing is digitizing the American dollar. You're correct. However, that's all noise compared to the opportunity at hand, which is really about what's going on in the Stablecoin Act, now called the Genius Act, that was brought forward by Haggerty, and now Jill DeGrant has joined it, co-authored Republicans, Democrats. It's the first attempt to legalize a stablecoin backed by US dollar. And it's immensely important for the crypto industry. Even though you've got the meme coins, you've got the noise, you've got the volatility in the equity markets, we have been waiting for almost 7 years for this legislation. It's the first of a series of legislative moves. This is going to be the Stablecoin Act, the lowest hanging fruit. We really need this to start happening because every sector of the economy, and I go right to the Stablecoin Act, this is digitizing payment systems. Digital payment systems are going to be a radical change in financial services. And this is the first step. So I agree with you. There's a lot of noise, but this is the focus right now. And we're talking about weeks away from this move. So if you're a crypto investor like I am, The potential of just this first move is like a chess piece. It's the pawn going out to the center of the board. I see finally that stable coins are approved.
Again, everything else is just noise. We can become excited if we have small price movements, and we can say XRP or Hedera, HBAR, XLM are going to go to $2,000, but those are just temporary emotional dopamine effects to our system. We have to understand how all that is going to be implemented. Do I believe in high values for these cryptos? Absolutely. That's why I'm invested in them. But I'm strategic, and I don't buy into a lot of the excitement. I want a long-term view. And as Kevin is saying right there, the system is being digitized. Today's payments face operational and technical challenges that affect efficiency, security, and capacity for innovation. Trapped liquidity. Domestic and cross-border payment systems often have disparate operating hours, which can trap liquidity, creating pools of money sitting idle and uninvested. That's what this crypto, that's what the blockchain, that's what the stablecoin revolution and the framework regulation is going to modernize the system so that we have 24/7 real-time payments, which XRP and Ripple are going to be leading that charge, in my opinion. Again, the benefits by tokenization. We talk about tokenization all the time through DLT, i.e. XRP, and a lot of the other technologies that I speak to. And smart contracts range from reductions in cost and risk to improvements in efficiency. And again, it's just one more primary example that improved use of financial resources and liquidity. DLT enables 24/7, 365 at a more efficient payment capability worldwide, cross-border. Now, how is that going to work? Why does it matter for crypto? Bringing it all back in. Why does it matter for crypto and specifically XRP's strong growth? RLUSD, if you're new to this environment, if you're a brand new investor and this is a first content, or you're watching a lot of other content and you're very confused about what a stable coin is as compared to a cryptocurrency, RLD is Ripple's latest innovation. Basically, it's a stable coin that's going to be pegged 1-for-1 against the US dollar, that is audited monthly, that is backed fully by real reserves. They have to pass an audit, and they are presenting that audit. There's transparency there, and that's what you have to understand. The United States, through this stablecoin, the Genius Act, as they call it, regulation, is not going to allow just a stablecoin to be represented as a digital dollar without having an audited trail in history. So very important for RLUSD. And obviously there's other stablecoins out there, USDC, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But again, RLUSD is built to complement XRP. XRP is the residing token, the cryptocurrency that is optimized for fast, low-cost cross-border payments, often acting as a bridge currency between different fiat currencies. So again, we can send money cross-border using stable coins inherently, but when it gets to another region, it's going to have to be converted. That's what XRP is going to be used for, is that bridge currency, to convert it from RLUSD into a euro or into, an Asian currency, wherever it may be. So the key question that we're exploring right now today in this video is, how is RLUSD's growth going to create a ripple effect, no pun intended there, through XRP's price? The XRP ledger is a decentralized payment protocol, and every transaction on it, whether it's moving XRP or a stablecoin like RLUSD, it's going to require a fee to be paid in XRP. Now, the fee is very insignificant. It's a tiny fee per transaction. It's like 0.0001 per XRP transaction is going to be burned, meaning it's permanently removed from circulation. There is only so much XRP that is out there, right? That's on the market. That's why it's a deflationary asset. That's why it's excited to be able to front run this technology. And we as investors can come into the market, buy into this deflationary environment, and protect our investment and our dollars. Now imagine RLUSD begins to take off. We know that it's only been out on the market and it's building volume every month, but it's only been out on the market for a few months. If we look at other stable coins like USDC or USDT, and we go back in time and we look at the volumes have continued to increase year to year, and more stable coin development has been happening in the billions and the trillions from a volume perspective. So for RLUSD, it's still building up to that volume. But what's going to happen when it takes off? It's going to have an effect on businesses that use it for remittances. It's going to allow DeFi platforms to be integrated into it, other wallets to be integrated into it. Daily transaction volumes are absolutely going to soar. More transactions equal more XRP burned every transaction. And the main key that will exponentially create more velocity, basically, of money movement. That's what we want. We want the velocity of money movement to increase. That's what's going to increase that butterfly effect that I talked to, that flywheel effect to take effect and to make the movement of money increase. So it's being utilized more and more, which is what we want, because that means the price of XRP, the price of HBAR, the price of all these currencies are going to go up. Now let's listen to Monica Long as she speaks about the RLUSD and what its effect is going to be.
Products in terms of the cross-border. If you've got the stable coin, is there a need for XRP in this mix?
Absolutely. We use a mix of assets to serve our payments customers, so including stable coins as well as XRP. The use case for XRP in particular is as it was envisioned by the original creators of the ledger and of XRP, and that is as a bridge asset for the long tail of currency pairs. And we're talking about tokenization of other types of assets. In the future, when you have new types of assets tokenized on chain, having a really efficient intermediary bridge asset to make, you know, any pair liquid is important.
And just a very quick.
So again, they're reliant on each other. They have to work. XRP is not going to be going away. RLUSD is just going to increase the efficiency of it. We know XRP's supply is capped at 100 billion, with about 45 billion currently in circulation. And yes, Ripple has a large escrow that's out there that they own and control. What happens with that in the future, we don't know. That's what's exciting about this. But again, basic economics are going to tell us that if supply decreases while demand holds steady, meaning that money, the velocity of that money is being used, prices tend to rise. That's just how economics works, and that is exactly what we're going to see here, but it is a long-term macro view. I don't believe the system switches in an instant like we hear many times. That's, in my opinion, not really realistic. It has to be built up, and that's what we're seeing right before our eyes as this regulation comes into place, as these technologies start to be embraced by America and the other countries as a whole. Now, let's consider XRP's role as a bridge currency. Ripple designed XRP to make cross-border payments faster and cheaper by converting one currency, again, to XRP and then to another. RLUSD as a stablecoin is absolutely going to amplify this. That's the point I'm trying to get you guys to understand, see the bigger picture and the bigger scenario, which could, in effect, change the way that you exit these markets. When you begin to understand the bigger picture of what these technologies that you hold are, your exit strategies are going to change because you're not looking to get rich overnight. You're looking to build long-term wealth. So as RLUSD usage grows, so will the demand of XRP to facilitate these conversions, which means more money in our pockets, more profit. RLUSD will absolutely turbocharge the XRP ledger's ecosystem. Again, it complements the system. It's going to draw in new developers, new liquidity providers, and businesses, creating a very high growth cycle, that butterfly effect, that flywheel effect. And we know that Ripple has stated that RLUSD, just like Monica just said, is not meant to replace, it's meant to complement the system. So again, just think of RLUSD or this stable coin as an anchor and XRP as the dynamic facilitator to bridge different currencies. And if Ripple, when they execute this vision well, because they execute everything efficiently, RLUSD is going to be able to handle stable value transactions while XRP powers those conversions and handles the liquidity that's being onboarded to the blockchain as the large institutions come in. And we're not even talking about the tokenization effect and all the other domino effect of things that are going to happen as these technologies are adopted. So again, what's the bottom line here? The rise of RLUSD is likely to be a net positive, especially if it drives transaction volume. Matt Hogan posted this. I can't stop thinking about the quote from the U.S. Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent. We are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stable coins to do that. However big you think the stable AUM, assets under management is what AUM is, will get, you're probably thinking too small. So the question becomes, what does the rest of crypto market look like if a stablecoin AUM is in multiple trillions? Well, I can tell you what it's going to look like. It's going to look absolutely explosive. And that's why macro view, giving you that picture, hold on, just hold on and be patient and be non-emotional. We know that Brad, as John Deaton posted in this post out on X, has stated that the stablecoin market will likely grow 10x in the next 5 years with tier one banks moving aggressively to custody Bitcoin and other digital assets. Why Ripple is moving ahead and why they dropped the RLUSD stablecoin more recently. They see the large impact and they understand the inflows and the outflows of how big this market's going to be getting. So let's wrap it up. RLUSD's rise ties directly to XRP and the XRPL's design. We got to have that picture. The bigger point is that stable coin regulation. We need the regulation that's coming in place, that's going to be signed, as Kevin Leary spoke to, as the president was talking to. We need that stable coin regulation, which sets the environmental momentum to allow the growth. And Ripple is absolutely positioned perfectly right now, since we know the SEC case will soon be done and gone with. SEC has dropped the case, their appeal. Ripple is still making a decision whether they want to continue with their appeal to try to get back the $125,000 or $1 million. But it's all just noise at this point. We know it's going away. It's just a matter of when the finality happens. So this is a story of potential synergy. More activity, less supply, greater demand that is absolutely going to lift XRP's price. Okay, it's not based on charts. It's not based on, Hopium. It's not based on anything like that. It's based off reality and framework. Now, is there going to be competition out there? Absolutely. We know there's competition with USDC and USDT. Yes, USDT has had some issues, excuse me, as far as meeting regulatory compliancy, but they own billions and billions of dollars of US treasuries. I believe they're going to come under regulation and they're going to change their way, I believe. We'll wait to see what happens. Either way, it doesn't matter. Stable coins are going to be here. We need the framework, and they will either get in line or they won't. And RLUSD will take the bulk of that capability over, along with USDC. So Ripple's challenge, our challenge, is to balance the assets that we have in our portfolios to just maximize what the impact is going to be. So again, patience is the key. Understand the regulation. And the next part of the regulation is the actual larger crypto framework regulation, which I'll do another video on that here shortly. But it's about a chess game, and all the pieces and the pawns are lining up just perfectly. And you just need to sit back as an investor, be calm, be non-emotional, be safe. And all good things are going to come to those of us that wait this out and understand the larger game. So I hope you enjoyed this today. Please provide your thoughts and comments down below. That's what makes this community fun. Everyone has a different perspective. Zip's not right doesn't mean anyone else is wrong. It's just a conversation, an intellectual conversation, non-emotional, because at the end of the day, we all have to do what is best for us and our families. So once again, be safe, be patient, and until next time, Zip is out.